Yep.
for it.
Hi, everyone. This is Bill Weathersby with transformAI. I'd like to share a few comments and ideas with you about the post-COVID reboot. So there's several things we've actually learned over the last 60 days, and probably the most single important one is that the cloud is almost an imperative now. It used to be something people thought about, but with all the distributed workforces that we have, the cloud is just something that we're going to have to get used to. There's been some interesting research done in the last 60 days about adoption of working at home. And in about 8 or 9 different industries, as high as 50% of all the employees are working from home, which most people didn't think, I believe, would be acceptable or even possible. But with the cloud computing with it is today, it's actually working pretty well. There's also quite a bit of research that says that 70% of the people, of the executives that actually got surveyed, thought that they would continue to work from home or actually move more work from home. So that's a very interesting statistic. At this point in time, I believe we've got about 25 million people in the U.S. unemployed. And 2 economists from the Fed Reserve out of Denver came back literally about 2 weeks ago and said that it's not going to be unforeseeable that automation will take the place of some of those people returning to work, because for the first time with cloud computing and distributed workloads, it's going to be easy to do, which is going to be good for the automation market. It's going to force employers to have to figure out how to let their people returning actually become more productive and actually use automation to become more productive. So I don't believe we're going to return to what we had. I think that's why everyone's calling it a reboot. And I believe the statistics and most of the research are going to prove that point positive. So there's been several studies out by Gartner and Forrester and McKinsey over a 36-month period that shows that digitally native companies, which no one thought that was a big deal 3 months ago, but over the last 60 to 90 days, digitally native companies have actually seen acceleration in both their compound annual growth rates and EBITDA. Double digits in compound annual growth rate and as much as 8% increase bottom line because they were already digitally native. So what that's going to do to companies going forward is it's going to show them that they really need to move more to a digital format, which I believe is going to take on quite a bit more automation. And I think once the dust settles and people realize that you can automate quite a bit, and that the numbers show that the people that already had done it are far ahead of their competition, I believe what's going to happen is we come back from this COVID reboot, you're going to see people that had been maybe with a 12-month or a 15-month automation plan ultimately come back, and they're going to have to be able to do that in some reasonable time frame, like 90 days. And so I believe it's going to put a reasonable amount of pressure on people to force that to happen. But I believe if you're going to stay competitive and continue to compete with people that are that far ahead of you and seeing gains when everyone else is seeing a backwards movement, you're ultimately going to have to keep doing that. So the conventional wisdom right now is most people are suggesting that you pick the projects that you already had on your plate. But if you were having a 12 to 15-month time frame, you're going to have to break those down into 90-day sprints. And ultimately what you want is you want efficiency and resiliency. So most of the resiliency is already built into the cloud and people are conducting business day to day, but the efficiency side of it is going to be something that requires a partner. And so if you haven't thought about bringing a partner on that's actually really good at the automation, you probably should, because your people are being asked to do more and more remotely. They don't have time to take what would have been a 12-month project and turn it into 90-day sprints. But that's ultimately what the conventional wisdom is going to be. And there was some really good research from McKinsey that said in this post-COVID reboot, you really should be bold and that you should automate as much as you can and that you ultimately should accelerate that automation as fast as possible. So if you're in the group that wasn't in the digitally native group beforehand, that you could catch them by year's end if you do employ this 90-day sprint philosophy. We believe that that's the way to go. We think that we're a pretty good partner to work with. most of our stuff, if not all of our technology is cloud native. And so most of everything you see us doing will be right on top of the cloud. So good luck in your journey. And I hope that we get a chance to talk to you about being the partner that can help you do what you need to do.